don't really regulate the neurological inconsistency itself.
They're working against the brain's natural chaos, essentially.
Exactly. Which is why this idea of using music as a, what do they call it? A neural architect. It's pretty clever.
A neural architect, I like that. So if the internal signal is chaotic, the idea is to use music to provide external structure.
That's the core hypothesis of Bardontics. Music has these inherent qualities, structured rhythm, predictable harmonic complexity. It's culturally quite universal.
Things our brains can latch onto.
Precisely. The idea is that these qualities can effectively engage and crucially stabilize those same neural reward systems that dopamine usually governs, but governs erratically.
Okay, so how does that work? Is it just distraction?
No, it's more fundamental. Imagine your brain's reward pathways are kind of waiting for a signal. Dopamine is supposed to be that signal, but it's noisy, unreliable.
Right, the faulty connection.
Yeah. Music, though, especially certain kinds of music, provides a clean external framework. It offers predictable rhythms, cadences, harmonic resolutions, things the brain processes as reliable, non-drug reward signals.
Ah, okay. So it's like giving the brain the steady beat it was expecting from dopamine, but couldn't get reliably.
That's a good way to think about it. It provides external structure, a set of expectations the brain can consistently lock onto, and this external structure basically imposes order on that internal chemical chaos.
So Bardontics isn't just mood music, it's much more targeted.
Absolutely. It's a cognitive intervention using specific genres, specific sound waves, to actively stabilize and stimulate those dopaminergic pathways.
And you mentioned it was targeted at a really specific goal, not just general well-being.
Right. The research wasn't vague. It was explicitly designed to support adherence to high-performance routines. They even mentioned the cultural goal of sustaining the 5 a.m. mindset.
Wow, okay, that's ambitious.
Yeah.
Getting up at 5 a.m. consistently is tough.
Exactly. It requires a really immediate, reliable boost to your executive function, your focus, right when you wake up. You have to conquer that initial inertia, that morning motivational fog or chaos.
Yeah, a battle against the snooze button.
That battle. It demands a system that works pretty much every single time, regardless of how you felt a moment before. Music, they propose, can be that reliable external trigger.
Okay, this is fascinating. So let's get into section 2 then. The actual methods and the results. You said genre-specific tuning.
Yes. And the precision here is what really makes Bardontics interesting from a scientific standpoint. It's not just a concept. They aimed for verifiable science.
And this is where it gets really practical for listeners, I think.
Definitely. So how did they measure the impact? Rigorous metrics. First, and this is key, functional imaging, brain scans.
So they could actually see what was happening in the brain, not just ask people how they felt.
Exactly, that's critical. They needed to see if the music was actively engaging and changing activity patterns in those specific target areas, the reward regions, the cognitive control regions.
Okay.
And second,
hard behavioral metrics. Things like measurable increases in focus, improvements in self-regulation abilities, and critically, the actual rate of adherence to those difficult early morning routines.
So they linked the brain changes directly to real-world actions.
Had to. The neural changes needed to translate into tangible, consistent behavior. Otherwise, it's just an interesting brain phenomenon, not an effective intervention.
Makes sense. And the findings, did it work? Did different genres have different effects?
Absolutely, and this is where it really dismantles the idea that music choice for performance is purely subjective, just about what you like.
Right, it wasn't about preference. No. The study showed that different musical genres elicit distinct, measurable, and highly predictable neurocognitive effects. It wasn't about whether you personally enjoy Bach. It was about how the structure of Bach's music impacts your neural processing architecture.
Okay, let's break down the genres they tested. This sounds like the core actionable stuff.
It really is. So, first up, Baroque compositions. They specifically mentioned Bach's fugues.
Okay, Bach. Complex, structured.
Highly structured, mathematical precision, complex polyphony.
It's good. All right. So what you guys heard momentarily was my cognitive musical mutation, Bardontic, right? So it's a mutation designed to blend in different genre into more of like an atmospheric. Hey, what's up, man? Who's that? Malik. What's up, Julie? All right. So pretty much, guys, the hammer is important. You know why? Like I said, the weight distribution on the hammer is what? At the tip, right? So when you soar, right? So when you soar, what happens is that your muscle tissue are ripping apart, right? So that means you need to stimulate the blood flow, guys. It's not just resting and just chill. No. It doesn't work that way, dog. You know what I'm saying? You have to stretch it out. See, but the thing is that a lot of people, they don't know how to bring the blood flow to the area that need to be recovered, right? Right? It makes sense, right? If your muscle is damaged, you want to bring the most blood flow towards the area so that way it can heal, it can recover, right? By sleeping, by sitting down, it's not going to give you that it's at the end, right? So that means the pressure of the whole lever is at the tip. That means you're bringing the blood flow almost in a way evenly, but it's not, right? But the fact is it's moving, right? Because it has to go from the tip to the other tip, right? So because of that, you see how all the blood is flowing, right? Guys, I'm 145, okay, 144.3, all right? But at the same time, check this out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the lighting and stuff didn't look bigger, but at the same time, that's because I am. You know what I'm saying? How heavy this is? This is 6.5 pounds, guys. 6.5 pounds. You see how I go like this all day? That's because, guys, training, it takes work, but at the same time, it's just fun. Look, think about this. Amir, right? Think about Amir. No, check this out. If you go to your friend, right, with a 6-pound hammer, 3.2 kilos, right? And you're like, hey, can you do this? I bet you they can't. I bet you know why? Because it takes so much effort to put that weight on that end while it's at the 90 degree. It's hard, guys. But at the same time, guys, when you train like this every day, guys, I don't even notice it anymore. You know why? Because every day that you train upon, guys, believe it or not, it built the bond quick. Like, it built quick, right? Hey, what's up, Bruce? But you have to do every day, guys. If you don't work out every day, do you expect to get a result? Maybe, right? But guys, do you go to school every day? Do you read every day? Do you breathe every day, right? If you want to get into shape the same way that you want to breathe, guess what happened? You will get the result, right? But at the same time, guys, hey, who's that? What? One of the stream. Okay, all right, let's go. All right, let's go. All right, Amir, no, come on. All right, go. Educate me, Amir. Go ahead. Educate me why the tip is on the end. Go ahead, Amir. Go ahead. Come on, Amir. Tell me, Amir. Amir Fares, you so Fares that you don't even know? Come on, bro. You're number 2. Someone's number 1. I was messing with you, bro. All right. No, but the point is, guys, hey, feel free to comment, man. If you have any questions, let me know. Because at the end of the day, guys, my role, my job is to make sure you guys get the result. I'm all about result. You can say all you want, but at the end of the day, can you do this? At the end of the day, can you do this? You cannot. But at the same time, you could. Because training, just like anything else, requires practice, right? When you practice, guess what happens? You get the result, right? Check out my abstract. I'm the only person who's elevated Shakespeare and Poe, right? That's because I modified the structure into something that fit the modern time, right? That's because I modified the structure to fit the modern musical landscape, right? But how do you do that? How do you modify Shakespeare's work, right? You don't just go and randomly, hey, I'm gonna use ChatGTP and I'm gonna modify this. Good luck. You're not the only person who thought about that, right? If it's that simple, just ChatGTP, then why aren't you doing it, right? But here, that's the thing, guys. The fact is, even though it may look as simple as shown, but at the same time, how many people can say, well, I say right now, and you go to my profile, check it and see what happens. Go ahead, right? Check my profile and see what happens. I'm on all social media platforms, bro. You know what I'm saying? All, bro. Go. Major, right? But I'm showing you guys the technique of getting results. You see how the technique, I'm weaving away from the people who just want to get the result, you know what I'm saying? But look, I'm gonna show you guys the grip now, right? The grip of the hammer is very important, guys. Remember, guys, We're not using hammer because we want to build stuff. You could. Like I built this whole thing by myself, right? Yeah, by myself. But I'm showing you guys the way of using the hammer to make it fun, to incorporate it, in which you play tennis, like Federer, bye, right? Gone, right? Nadal's number one. What can I say, right? Why? Because Nadal's younger, right? But at the same time, have you guys seen the way Nadal transitioned after Federer left? Homeboy was a beast, right? Homeboy became a beast, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That's because when a wolf become hungry and the food chain is open, guess what happened? I'm gonna climb up first, bro. And that's what Nadal did, bro. That's what Nadal did. Federer left, and Nadal just went boom, right? That's because when you're hungry for a long time, man. Federer was dominating for how long? A decade, right? When he left, oh, who come first? Nadal did, right? So now, guess what? Nadal's in the Hall of Fame now, right? Right? That's because he took advantage of the situation. He's like, hey, man, old man's still here. You know what? I'm gonna conserve. You know what I mean? But as soon as he's gone, I'm gonna step up, right? Guys, that's how it should be, right? It's that it paved way for one another, right? Shakespeare, after 350 years, have anybody attempted to modify it successfully? Right here, man. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, though. I'm not Shakespeare, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even close to Shakespeare level. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference, though. But I want to explain to you guys why that matters, right? It matters because how many people actually know that Shakespeare is a playwright, right? Yeah, Shakespeare is a playwright, right? It's a theatrical play, correct? It's a theatrical play. It matters greatly. It involves a lot of crazy skills, right? But at the same time, it involves audience, right? It involves actors. It involves live instrument, right? But at the same time, though, what I've done is that, well, how can I compete with someone who live and breathe, Shakespeare, right? But at the same time, that's not what I wanted to do, though. Why? Because think about it, guys. No, check this out. During the Elizabeth era, right? Were there any hip hop artists? Were there any pop artists? Were there any reggaeton? No, right? Back in his time, what type of music available? Orchestra, maybe opera, probably, right? Correct? So his iambic pentameter was written, right, strictly according to what music composition that were available during his period of time. You think if Shakespeare were in this time, he wouldn't blend up everything? He would. That man's crazy, bro. Like, that man's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But he would, right? I mean, do you actually really believe that he only wrote less than 300 sonnets? Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You don't believe that, right? He's probably got, like, his whole freaking mansion or something in the mountain somewhere, I don't know, filled with sonnets and documents and manuscripts. There's no way he only wrote less than 300, man. There's no way. It's impossible. I don't believe that, man. Because the man is crazy, bro. The man is a singularity of a duality, bro. Just like how Mozart is, right? What does that mean? It means that during the period of time that he lived, right, he was able to do something that would require, make it simple, two people, right? But at the same time, it was so perfect, flawless in a way, right, that it affected humanity in such a way that it's worldwide, right? The same way that Mozart did, right? The way he composed his compositions, his structure, his note, it was almost flawless during his time. That was one person doing something that should not be possible. I don't know any Mozart today. I don't, right? I'm not Mozart, right? But at the same time, that's the different scale, though. You get what I'm saying? That's why he's a legend. But that does not mean that his work cannot be elevated. His work cannot be improved. His work cannot be carried on to the next generation, right? The same way to classic philosophy, right? Right? How many times have we still discussed about fate and determinism? Right? Look, here's fate. No, here's fate. Check this out. Here's the fate. The fate is, I was destined to look like this, and you destined to watch me do this. But you see how that could also be a perspective thing, right? The way that I see it is different from the way you see it, right? But still the same concept apply with the again, fate and determinism. It's all perspective, but why are we still pondering on the same perspective that we have the manuscript for, right? But at the same time, guys, are you in the hood? Are you in the mansion? Philosophy should not be hidden, right, among the nobles, right? Philosophy can occur anywhere, right? Name one Amir, check this out. Can you name one person, one philosopher right now that have check it out. Do you know any person that is a philosopher that have an understanding of AI technology, musicology, physics, and literature? Name one. It is mumbo jumbo because it is high complex material, right? But at the same time, if you can't name one, then that's an issue, right? Because if you're able to write all of that, you should be able to at least name one, right? Oh, I agree, bro. I agree. Hi, man. I agree. I think women rule the world. I agree. No, I completely agree. Look, here, check this out. My skill is I'm equipped, right, with wit to spit Poe sonnet in the folkloric just to charm the ladies, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because the lady charmed the world, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, look at the grip, right? You see how the whole time I was talking, I was showing you guys how to hold the grip. You noticed that, right? I know, bro. I'm a satirical bard, bro. Come on, man. Oh, come on, bro. You're my number 2. You know what I'm saying? No. You know Dr. Evil? You know your name, Dr. Evil? You're my number 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm Austin Power, you know what I'm saying? But you see how the whole time I was showing you guys how to hold the hammer, right? Because when you hold the hammer correctly, guys, this here is called structure, right? You have a structure of a way of doing things that become almost in a way instinctively natural, that you're able to multitask. Imagine Mozart. Homeboy is beyond multitask, right? But you see how if someone simple as me could do something like just simple, imagine Mozart. He must be lonely, bro. Homeboy must be very lonely, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, people ask, how do you practice Shakespeare? No, I say, Amir, like, how do you practice Shakespeare? Is there a college degree that you can say, hey, I'm gonna go get my Shakespeare degree? Right? There isn't, right? There isn't really a degree for that of a Shakespeare, how to teach Shakespeare, right? They don't. Because his work, right, is what? It needs to be elevated, right? Guys, when I say elevated, I'm not changing what it is that he's already built, because why? Look, if you look at my stuff, those are my original sonnets, by the way. Those are my original sonnets based off of my 12 syllable with 4 stanza, right? Each stanza have the same stress and unstressed similarly, but with the flexibility of having 4 color coded, right? Red, right, for chaos, right? Blue for beauty, right? And then you have yellow, which for what? You tell me. Go look at my abstract. And then you have green for transcendented, right? That's because the green is when I was able to modify the structure of the iambic to fit in the modern landscape. You know why? No, Amir, check this out. Afro rap with Shakespeare, how would you do that? Right? Will a 10 syllable of a stressed and unstressed fit in Afro rap? But now you try to put that into sonata, right? Now you're fusing that with a sonata background, right? Go check my profile, man. I mutate Beethoven too, right? But at the same time is that now if you have Afro rap with opera, right? With Shakespearean dark cadence, right? With Edgar Allan Poe, the Raven narrative, right? And his more, nevermore, right? If you have all of that, let me ask you, will a 10 strict syllable that was designed back in his time, Shakespeare time, in which Afro rap didn't exist, right? In which the need to exceed the 10 strict rule wasn't necessary, right? But at the same time, though, guys, is that Shakespeare was not a musician. He was a playwright, right? I'm on the other hand taking his knowledge and elevating it, in which now I brought upon and elevated from the bardic, right, which is for the term used for describe Shakespeare work, right, into a bodontic, right. It means that it meant to be mutated. It meant to be to the x elon, right, to the x amount, to the infinity, or to the imaginary, right. That's what the x and the symbol stands for, right. It's to elevate the man's work by keeping his name forevermore, right? Not nevermore, forevermore, right? Why? Because Poe, similarly as Shakespeare, influenced my life, right? In which my goal is to bring that to the people. But at the same time, guys, is that sometimes when people don't understand certain concept and they try to look it up, guess what happened? It can cost you $50,000, right? Knowledge is not free, guys, right? Knowledge is not free. But at the same time, even if knowledge is free, how many people are willing to pursue it, right? How many people are truth seeker? Look at my profile, right? I'm a renowned truth. Come on, man. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, guys, is that one, if you look at the lyrical content within my work, right? I have over 600 musical composition talks about fate, destiny, philosophy, musicology, right? So how many books do you think that is, right? But here's the thing though, guys, is that one, to present something that's complex, it's not a simple thing as to present, you know, a modified iambic pentameter of Shakespeare, right? How do I present that? There's no class for that, right? Right? There's no class that teach you, oh, this is what you need to do, right? To modify Shakespeare, right? This is what you need to do to modify certain topic. Hey, what's up, Izzy? Hi. There's no protocol for that, right? Because no one really truly attempted to modify Shakespeare crazy enough to do that, right? But I see it differently though, right? I see the fact is, if the man influenced my life this much, right? The least I could do is bring it up, you know what I'm saying? I can't compete with him. I might as well bring it up so that way his name can last, right? Isn't that what you want, right? With your idol, with whoever that you're trying to, you know, elevate, right? You want to bring the name with you to last, just like how the Sonnet 116, right? That's my thing, man. My Sonnet 116 and the Raven, bro. You know, with the chaos and the shadows, and we just go, man. Because believe it or not, chaos and shadows do intertwine, right? Even though the time is off, they still correlate. If you look at chaos, you see shadow. You see shadow, you see chaos. Because chaos and shadow flow, right? The same way that I'm sure you guys have to hold the grip. You see the whole time, I'm sure you guys have to hold the grip, right? It's that if you want to hold a hammer, right, you gotta make sure the balance is there, right? So this right here is a, what? It's a 6-pound hammer, right? So that means about 5 pounds of weight will be on here, right? So when you're up training, you wanna make sure you have a good spot. But guys, why does that matter? Check this out. When you can't lift that weight, most of the time when you deadlift, it's because your grip can't pull it, right? I'm not saying that if you were to strengthen your wrist, all of a sudden you'd be Superman like me. You could, but at the same time, check this out. No, check this out. You see what? Look at my wrist. But then watch this out. No, watch this. Watch this. You see? You see how up here more? You see that? The brachialis. You see now, when you put the weight more by holding grip, all of a sudden, guess what happened? Your brachialis have to come into play. You're like, oh snap, I gotta do something, right? But you see, not as much, right? It matters, guys. It matters because sometimes when you're by yourself, right, it's not about, oh, you know, what's good today. Nah, man, it's like, how do I think myself out of this, right? Correct. No, it's true, man. It's the truth. I'm being real with y'all. I'm from Long Beach, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you're by yourself, man, and the light is off, You're not thinking about what's tomorrow. You think about, right? That's where philosophy comes in, guys. That's where sometimes when you're able to trigger that dopamine release, right? When you're able to build that foundation and with the positive loop feedback is there, right? By building the proper protocols, right? A system that can help you gain that, right? That's because it matters, guys. Look, the point is that one, the result is here. What I'm sharing with you guys, you know how much people charge you for this? But at the same time, I'm a masterclass, right? Check my profile, man. But I'm for the people, right? Why? Because when you get the result, guys, it's not about scrolling sometimes, right? It's about what it is that you want, that stimulate that growth that you want, right? Whether scrolling, you could. But at the same time, I do it too. But that's not the point though. The point is that sometimes we always scream and shout for save art, save music. Hello? You know what I'm saying? But yet, no one is really stepping up to support those who are, right, doing the work. How many people is on YouTube? 3 billion, right? That's a lot. But at the same time, guys, it matters, right? Is find the one that you want. Find the one that fit you. Find the one that fit your style and follow them, right? That's because when you in sync with someone who's have your style, can correlate to what it is that you're doing in a positive way, it does not matter if it's me, if it does not matter if someone else, as long as you find that person on YouTube and scrolling that you can sync with, follow them, right? Because they will help you. They will, no, trust me, they will help you get through what it is that you need to get through because one, it's, they are doing it and you're watching. That's the difference, right? You're the viewer, right? When you are in the viewer position, right? That's what your role. Your role is to learn, right? When I scroll, I'm in the viewer position. So, my genius status, I bring it down, you know what I'm saying? That's because when I'm in that mode, right? When I'm in that mode of a viewer, I'm in the mode to learn, right? I'm in the mode to scroll and learn, right? But when I'm here, in which you guys are watching, I'm the masterclass. There's no one better than me at the moment, right? But you get what I'm saying? You have to understand the role, right? The role you have to play. I got 2 minutes left before I hit my 30 minutes. But at the same time, though, is that when you have a role that you know you have to play, one, you scroll to learn. Two, you're on show to teach. You see how the give and take, right? You learn, you give back. You learn, you give back, right? But at the same time, guys, not many people could, right? Not many people could learn and share, right? Not many people could learn and be able to share, right? That's because each one of us is unique, right? How many people can talk for almost 30 minutes straight? Me, right? But here's the thing though, guys. When you watch this video and analyze the content, you tell me if it makes sense or not, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, when I scroll, I'm looking to learn, right? I'm looking to support someone. I'm looking to pick up something new, right? I'm looking, hoping that it might land that one idea, right? Because that one idea, guys, it's the one idea that you need. And that one idea that you need could be from scrolling. But you gotta have a purpose for that though. Don't scroll without the purpose, man. I'm telling you, man, if you scroll with a purpose, you can be a scrollaholic, for all I care, right? One, because it will give you the protocol, your protocol, not mine, your protocol to why you scroll. You scroll in hope to pick up that one new thing. If you have that reason, guys, you can be a scrollaholic like me. I do it too. I spy on Elon all the time, and he spy on me all the time too. What can I say, man? And then we pretend that we don't know each other, but at the same time, like, hey, I'm gonna clown you real quick, right? But you see how it is? I hope this helped, guys. But thank you for tuning in. But check this out, though. All right, now here's a little tip. All right, you ready? All right, here's a little tip. Now, write this down, right? 25 reps. All right, I'm telling you, no. 25 reps. Petition, shoulder, lateral, chest press. 25 repetition, you want to do a combination, a superset that equal to 100. Does that make sense? So when you do 25 repetition of superset, you want that superset to reach 100, right? So that means you have to do what? 4, whatever it is, sets of that repetition to get to that one superset. Why that? Well, in coding, right? In life, right? You gotta reach 100%, man. That's the philosophy. But how many people look at that, right? When you set that 25 actual repetition for the superset to equal to 100, guess what happened? When you complete that one set, guess what? You just did 100 reps. That's 100% to me, right? But you see how that logic matters, because that logic is what helped me, help others, and go read my abstract and you find out, right? But 100 is important, guys. 100 is the concept. So put that, into your system. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't, hey, man, keep going, right? Keep going, man. Find what works for you. All right, guys. Adios. Dang, I look good, bro. Look at that, man. Woo. Kind of fake, man. All the time flexing like this.